Okay, so this is a short worked example or talking through example of how to answer an essay question on addressing. Um, what we're going to do is, this is from paper 2021 and it's part of question 6. And they're talking about, in assembly language, different modes of addressing memory can be used. Discuss the different modes used. You should include how the operand value is determined, what an operand of 27 would refer to in each mode, and the reasons for requiring multiple modes of addressing. Right, so how are we going to answer that? It's 12 marks. These essay questions are really, really important. They can, if you miss out, you could miss a whole grade boundary. It's a lot. Whether or not computer science should have such a focus on that is a different matter. So let's look at the mark scheme as well. So I'll put all these in the link below. We open up that. It's the computer system 2021. Open the browser. And this is question 6. So we go to the answers. These are the answers. So firstly, I'm going to talk through the different meanings of different things, and then we're going to look at this model answer and see how they've answered it. But basically, they explain all the different types of addressing, what they are, how they work, and then they talk about them in terms of the operand of 27, and then they say what's good and bad about each one. So this is in the link below. It's an article I wrote on about what different types of addressing are, and it takes you through some examples, then gives you an exercise at the end. And I will add a past paper question on for this as well, so you can try and answer this essay question yourself. So basically, the first type of addressing is immediate addressing. That's where you have basically an 8-bit binary number. The first 4 bits is the opcode. So in machine code, that could be add, subtract, whatever. And then you've got the operand. The operand is the number that you're going to be doing something with. In our case, in this exam question, the operand is 27. So in immediate addressing, we're using that actual number. Okay. Now, why is that good? Well, pretty fast. You can use that number. You don't have to go and look in another place. And the disadvantages of it, it limits you to the amount of size of data that you can work with. You've only got 4 bits. And when we look at the other ones, as we're going to do in a minute, you'll understand why that's also a disadvantage in terms of the amount of memory data and memory you can use. So direct addressing, the operand is referring to an address with the data in. Now you see here we've got 8 bits stored in that data, whereas we've only got 4 bits in the operand. So a 4-bit operand can refer to all those addresses, and then those addresses can have 8 bits of an 8-bit binary number in, which is give us more data, more numbers to work with. It also means that we can make a better use of memory. So in indirect addressing, we're actually referring to the operand refers to an address, and then the data in there is actually referring to another address. So you can see here we're going to 10, and then that is going to 14. So we go to 14, and that's got the data in. So what are the advantages here of indirect addressing over direct addressing? Well, we've actually got more access to more of the memory if we use indirect addressing. Whereas here we only go to one location, and we don't get to utilize all of the memory we possibly could. That's one of the things they talk about here in the model answer. So there's always like 3 parts to an exam question. You write down everything you know about what they're asking you, so the different types of addressing. Then you write down how to apply that to a scenario, and then you write your evaluation. To finish this off, indirect indexed addressing is the last one, where you have an index register and an operand, and you add the index register onto the operand. So for example, 10 here, add on the index register 3, and then that takes us to address 13, and then that's got the data in it. So in terms of algorithms and data structures, we've used index addressing before in arrays. Arrays have indexes that refer to different memory locations that have different bits of data in. So and the advantage of that is you've got more access to a whole range of memory. So coming back to the exam question here, so that would be explaining what the different types of addressing are. And then you say how you would use 27. Well, you'd use 27 in immediate addressing to refer to 27. Direct addressing, you would refer to the thing held in that address at 27. Indirect addressing would refer to the thing held at the address that's in the address at 27. And then index addressing, you'd add on the index to 27 to get the value of the index that you're referring to. Why is media? Why are these better than the other? Well, as I've said, with immediate addressing, you've only got like a limited to the amount of data size in the operam, 4 bits. But it's faster because it's immediate. You're using it. Direct addressing allows data to be fetched from memory, so we can use 8 bits instead. But it may be limited in address range. Indirect addressing allows us a larger range of addresses, but you've got disadvantage here. You have to go into an address of an address, so multiple fetches are required. But indexed addressing, it gives us a whole range of data, as long as the data is stored like sequentially, like one after the other. So you're starting at 10, you're adding on the index 13, adding on another index 14, and so on. So they all have different advantages and disadvantages over the other, and it depends what you're trying to do. Perhaps that you would want to use a mixture of these, as it says. The reason for requiring multiple modes of addressing, depending on what you're trying to do. If you're just trying to add up one number, or you're trying to deal with a range of numbers, then maybe you would use indexed addressing. But it depends on that use case. And so that's what they're asking you to do. Explain everything you know about addressing, then explain how you would use that for an example 27 application. Then you evaluate it and saying what the differences are, the benefits of immediate over direct, and then indirect over direct, and then finally indexed addressing.